Good morning and thank you for joining us. Israel's ambassador, Danny Danon, will deliver a brief media statement ahead of this morning's Security Council session. Thank you.
Good morning. Today in the Council, many will again raise the humanitarian situation in Gaza. We will remind them all of the fact that Israel is facilitating the entry of aid through two mechanisms, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund and the entry of aid trucks. While Israel and other actors deliver, the UN has faltered. As of now, approximately 950 trucks are awaiting collection on the Gazan side. The UN hypocrisy is even more evident in the conduct of OCHA. Several weeks ago, Tom Fletcher, OCHA's head, claimed that 14,000 babies in Gaza would starve to death within 48 hours. This was a blood libel. He quietly walked it back, but only after the lie had already circled the globe. He has yet to retract his further disgusting accusation that Israel is committing a genocide. But the problem with OCHA goes far beyond one official statement. The entire agency has abandoned neutrality. On May 6, OCHA published grossly inflated casualty figures in Gaza. 2 days later, those numbers were quietly reduced by more than 10,000. There was no explanation and no accountability. OCHA relies almost exclusively on Hamas-run sources. There is no independent verification, no distinction between civilians and terrorists. When it comes to Israel, the UN standards disappear. At the same time, OCHA ignores the over 13,000 aid trucks Israel and other partners have facilitated into Gaza, counting only UN-coordinated aid. Israel will not allow this to continue. I will therefore inform today the Council of steps Israel is taking to ensure that what has been happening with OCHA will no longer continue. Israel is taking action. We are fighting to bring the hostages back, to defend our civilians, and to dismantle terror networks. It is time the UN did the same. Thank you very much.
Can we ask a question?
Sure.
Good morning, Ambassador Ahmed Fathi, ATN News. With regard to your statement refuting the UN and OCHA claims, till now I don't understand why the Israeli government does not allow international journalists into Gaza. We just have a single source and citizen journalists transmitting the real picture. What is the problem for international journalists to go and cover and present what they see on the ground? And my second question, President Trump announced yesterday that the US is going to be pulling out or withdrawing from UNESCO, citing its position from Israel. Do you have any reaction to President Trump's decision?
Well, I will start with UNESCO. I think it was the right decision of President Trump. You know, UNESCO unfortunately was hijacked by some elements, even though they tried to do some good things. But when you look at the conduct of this organization, like other UN agencies, you know, you have no control of what's happening there. And I think it was the right decision of President Trump. Regarding your first question, you know, when you bring journalists into a war zone, you don't want to see any casualties, God forbid. That is the reasoning we don't want to see casualties of journalists traveling inside Gaza. It's a war zone. But I agree with you. You know, I think if the journalists will go there, they will be able to see what's happening. And today you get reports from people and from the Hamas mainly, and you can get a lot of lies. So that's something which is being discussed, but the main concern for us that journalists might get killed in a war zone. It's an active war zone today.
Just to follow up on the journalists' part, there are several who are qualified war reporters who have been through war zones much more atrocious in Africa, in South America, in other parts of the world. So as far as journalist safety, I think each journalist and their organization, it's their end of the bargain, whether they take the risk or not. Second part about the UNESCO. You said it's the right decision. Is it the right decision for the US and Israel to pull out of UNESCO? You were speaking about UNESCO as if it's an independent body, not a reflection of the will or the voting of its member states, who are your colleagues still here in the headquarters. Why is the mix between the organizational body and the positions of the member states?
Well, I will not speak on behalf of the United States, but I think the US now is conducting a review regarding all UN agencies. When you look at the budget of UNESCO, for example, the US made the major contributions to UNESCO. So one should ask himself, if they give so much funds and support, and then they use those funds not to promote culture, and actually to promote hate against Israel, against allies of the United States, against the US itself, I think that was the reasoning behind it. But I think you have to refer this question to the US. Thank you very much.